So back out here at Michael Wright's. I don't think I've ever met Michael's wife, so I can't say who her name is. I did this job in 2000, design with Conrad Ensor. He did all the CAD work and the survey and everything. That was our team back then. And I'm just walking along. You can see my ute up there, and the house wasn't there, and the little shed over there wasn't there, and all these trees we planted, and you'll see them in some other videos. But we built this ridge dam in 2000. I've got some great photos of it. And this is, I'm walking along one of the water conservation channels. Now, being granite soils, what we did here was, granites are quite coarsely grained and they absorb a lot of water before they actually run. And then once they run, the soil gets very full of water because you go down a bit and it's a heavy clay or it's just solid granite rock. So we adjust the gradient on these drains, or these channels. Some people call them drains, I prefer the word channel, according to just the style of rainfall. So not super intense here, and the soil type, and its erosibility and everything. Now you can see this is pretty stable. High kangaroo numbers here, so that's all you can see. I mean, he's not mowing the grass here. That's a lot of macropods running around. I can see all the residue of all their manure. But this was built in 2000 and by Graham Jennings, and it's running at 1 in 200. So is that 0.5%? Yeah, 0.5% of fall. And it's stable. It looks like it would still run. And let's see where it ends up on this beautiful, and many of you will have, this beautiful ridge dam, many of you will have seen this ridge dam over the journey. I've certainly all those jobs that we did when we were doing a lot of development back sort of between 95 and 2002. I took a lot of photos. Luckily, didn't have a drone back then, but do now, and I'll take some nice shots. There's a power line through. I can't even remember if that was here then. I don't know that it was, because I think Michael built a house out here until maybe 2010 or something, even after. Look at this ridge dam. Now, I have to say, it's pretty surprising. I didn't think that this dam, and it is a true ridge dam, so this is the centre line of the ridge. It's about 6 million litres, and it looks like it's about a metre off full. And there'll be a lot of people watching this who are in central Victoria. It's really interesting the way it's ended here, and then it flows over land there, yeah, I'll keep looking, but a lot of people in this part of the world who have very little water in their dams. Now, Grant, I don't know how much water Michael's using from this, if at all, but it's still, there's a lot of dams that people aren't using. They just haven't got any water in them at all. It's been a particularly dry year after a number of quite wet ones. So, yeah, it looks amazing. And, I mean, this sort of face is not doing a lot for me. I mean, I could probably look at planting that up. It's sort of surprising in a way, given the size of the dam and the lack of fetch, which is the distance between the length between the widest length between the embankment and the slope, and you can see the contour of the slope here. And yeah, I would have thought that would have colonised with some reeds and rushes and so on, like the juncus, which is this one along here. You often get that colonising, but hasn't really chosen to. One here. Interesting. Anyway. And then this is the other one. I've probably showed this water conservation channel a bit more. And I think these are definitely trees that have just colonised. They definitely weren't planted, but this is still functioning. You can see the debris there from a fairly recent flow. I don't know that it's causing too much, but these late black wattles, Acacia Mearnsii, they probably won't be here for that much longer, but interesting. So this is a really cool site, this dam. I haven't seen it up close, I'm going to say, since about 2004. But what a beautiful site. And just before we finish here, one thing I do want to go and have a look at is I was going to irrigate all of this down below here, or use it, because we originally designed this with all of these patches of forestry, which you can see here. Michael has he's involved with different forestry and crowds and Landcare group here, and all of the rest of it. He's put all of these name plaques, which is really cool. Proud of his trees. There's an interesting planting of red ironbark and messmate, obliqua and tricarpa. Looks like it's interesting. I'll have to go back and have a look at the plan. I can't remember half of this stuff, but I'm looking at the planting assembly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of messmate, and then 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, I don't know. Might have been something I didn't do too. People make up their own minds, you know. Look at that beautiful embankment. How stable it is. All granite, which is pretty erosive stuff. But this was done properly. Graham does a great job, and that's about a 1-to-1 embankment. Some people on Regrarians Farm Planning would have seen us talking about embankment angles, and this is a dam that would have had, I know Conrad back in the day does like Georgie does now, and equalise the amount of cut with fill, or you have a little bit more cut to compensate for settlement and so on. But yeah, wow, here she is. I haven't seen this for I reckon since 2002. Would have cost an arm and a leg. This beautiful big gate valve, which I reckon I could possibly open, but I won't, just in case I can't close it. And we also put in this here. So there was a pipe inside of a pipe. So this is a 200mm. And it's a bummer I haven't got more photos of when we put it in. That's a 200mm polyethylene pipe. So it's a big, heavy pipe. And yeah, that goes right through the guts of this thing. I've got the picture of the other end. What a beautiful big gate valve. So the idea here was that we were going to run irrigation out, and you could tap into that plug, and you could, which was a bit hard given they didn't put a valve in it. Find a time when the dam's empty. Well, gee, we've just been through a couple of dry years and the dam's not empty, so it's a bit of fun. But yeah, the idea was you could connect that up to, say, a 2-inch or 1.5-inch pipelines and run stock water around the joint, because there's going to be a contour that you could do that from, but it doesn't look like that's all happened here. Anyway, by and large, really impressive dam. I'm so stoked to see it after all this time, and that looks about the same as when we put it in 25, 26 years ago this year. I think it was October. Well, it might have been. I can't remember now. We'll have a look at the photos, but yeah, it's very impressive. Anyway, fun times.